Welcome to the Depth Dive. Today we're really going deep, exploring the life and the music of Smokey Robinson,
hmm
often called the king of Motown, right?
Absolutely. And, we've looked at a lot of material history, music analysis, reflections to really try and understand his impact.
Because he wasn't just a singer. That's the thing.
Oh, far from it. Singer, yeah, but also a really crucial songwriter, a producer,
hmm
just a central figure at Motown Records. His influence on American music is just immense.
That voice, though, people call it velvet, and you totally get why. But we want to look beyond just the voice, understand the whole picture.
Exactly. We'll dig into his early life, what shaped him.
And his rise with the Miracles, obviously.
Right. And then his work behind the scenes at Motown, which was huge, plus his solo career later on. It's quite a journey.
So where does it all start? Back in Detroit.
Yeah, born William Robinson Jr., February 1940. Grew up in the North End neighborhood of Detroit.
A pretty vibrant place musically back then, I imagine.
Oh, definitely. That whole Detroit scene was bubbling up. It was the perfect environment, really.
And the name Smokey, that wasn't a stage name.
No. Apparently it came from his Uncle Claude when he was a kid.
Huh. Like a family nickname.
Kind of a cowboy nickname is how he described it. But it stuck, and it meant something to him. Gives you a little insight.
It does. And musically, who was he listening to back then?
Oh, the sounds of the era. Rhythm and blues guys like Nolan Strong and the Diablos, groups like the Five Royales, that sort of thing.
The roots of soul music, really.
Exactly. And then in high school, like a lot of kids, he started his own group.
The Five Chimes.
That was the first one, yeah. Then it became the Matadors, and eventually the Miracles.
You see that evolution working things out.
Yeah, building something together, learning how to be a group. And then 1957, that's the key moment, meeting Berry Gordy.
Right, but the story goes the audition didn't actually go that well initially.
Well, it wasn't like they got signed on the spot, no. But Gordy heard something.
What was it? The voice? The songs?
I think it was more the songwriting, actually. Gordy recognized a real talent there, someone who understood melody and lyrics in a special way.
So even though the audition wasn't perfect?
To start a conversation,
Yeah.
Gordy gave him advice, helped them out, and eventually they released their first single, Got a Job.
Okay, so that was the spark.
That was the beginning of that partnership, Smokey and Berry Gordy. And, that relationship was just foundational for Motown Records.
You can't really imagine Motown without that connection, can you?
Not at all. It was Smokey's creative spark and Gordy's business sense. Just this incredible synergy.
And then, as Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, the hits just started coming.
Oh, yeah. Shop Around, that was massive.
Motown's first million seller, wasn't it?
Exactly. That put them and Motown firmly on the map. A
Oh.
huge deal for a young label.
And then came songs like, You've Really Got a Hold on Me,
Ooh, baby, baby.
and The Tracks of My Tears. Just timeless classics. What makes those songs still resonate so much?
Well, part of it is definitely the lyrics. He had this way of talking about love or heartbreak, these everyday feelings.
But making them sound almost poetic.
Exactly. Like in Tracks of My Tears, that whole idea of a smile being a mask, tears being hidden. It's simple, but so powerful. And the melodies were just beautiful, so evocative.
And he wasn't just writing for himself and the Miracles.
No, that's another key part. He was writing huge hits for other Motown stars.
Like who? Give us some examples.
Yeah, My Guy for Mary Wells, that was all him.
Classic.
And for the Temptations, The Way You Do the Things You Do, he just understood how to write for different voices, different personalities within that Motown sound.
It's like he could tap into what made each artist special.
Yeah, he really could. His lyrics felt conversational, but also had this depth. That's a tough balance.
He really mastered it. Okay, so as the 60s progress, Motown's exploding and his role starts to change a bit.
Right. By the late 60s, he wasn't just the star performer and songwriter. He took on a big executive role.
Vice president of Motown.
Yep. Vice president. So he's helping shape the label's direction, involved in the business side, making strategic decisions.
While still recording and touring, that's incredible.
He really was. Shows his commitment to the whole Motown project.
Yeah.
But eventually something had to give.
And that led to him leaving the Miracles in 72.
Yeah, it seems like a combination of things. The sheer workload of doing both jobs, wanting more family time.
And maybe wanting to explore his own path musically.
That too, I think. He had ideas he wanted to pursue, and a solo career gave him that freedom. So he launched that in 1973.
And it wasn't just like a footnote to his Miracles fame. He had real success as a solo artist.
Oh, absolutely. A whole new wave of hits. Songs like Cruisin',
Love that one.
Being With You, Just to See Her.
Yeah.
Huge songs in the 70s and 80s.
And he managed to adapt his sound, didn't he? It wasn't just retro Motown.
Exactly. That smooth falsetto was still there, of course. That was his signature. But the production felt contemporary. He evolved.
He kept his soulfulness but made it work for a new era.
Yeah, bridging that gap.
Yeah.
And finally, in 1987, he won his first Grammy for Just to See Her.
About time.
Right. Long overdue recognition for his solo work and just his enduring talent.
And he didn't stop there, did he? Kept working through the 90s, the 2000s.
Yeah, kept releasing music, touring, collaborating too. He worked with younger artists, people like Joss Stone, India, Airy, on an album in 2009.
Keeping things fresh, connecting with new audiences.
And then that Smokey and Friends album in Coming 14 was great, revisiting his classics with other legends. A real celebration.
When you look back at it all, his overall influence is just staggering.
It really is. Think about the songwriters he inspired. Stevie Wonder, for one, right from the early days.
You entered Stevie, yeah.
And even today, artists like Alicia Keys talk about his lyrical genius, that poetic touch.
And the awards reflect that, don't they? Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Kennedy Center honors.
National Medal of Arts. These aren't just music awards. They signify, a deep cultural contribution.
He's like a living bridge, connecting that golden age of soul to now.
That's a great way to put it. His music just crosses generations, cultures, genres. It's universal.
Let's go back to the songwriting for a second. That blend you mentioned, conversational but poetic.
Yeah, it's so unique. Tracks of My Tears. Again, it sounds like something that someone might actually say, but phrased perfectly.
And Bob Dylan called him one of the greatest living poets.
I mean, coming from Dylan, that's about as high as praise gets for a lyricist, isn't it?
Seriously. And vocally. That falsetto is iconic, but what else?
It's the emotion in it. It's not just technically perfect. You feel the vulnerability, the soulfulness. Even when it sounds effortless, there's this incredible control and clarity.
You can hear his influence on singers later on, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
People like Prince, Bruno Mars, Justin Timberlake. You hear echoes of Smokey's smoothness and phrasing in their work. They've all mentored him.
And beyond the music, there's a personal depth there, too. His spirituality seems important in his later work.
Yeah, you definitely see themes of faith, love in a broader sense, inner peace coming through more explicitly sometimes.
And he's been open about his life, the ups and downs, in his autobiography.
Smokey. Inside My Life, yeah. He didn't shy away from the tough times.
Including his struggles with addiction back in the 80s.
Right. He talked openly about that battle and his recovery.
Yeah.
That kind of honesty, that resilience, it adds another layer to his story. Makes him even more relatable, I think.
He didn't just overcome it, he shared it, maybe hoping to help others.
Seems that way. He really turned it into something positive.
Yeah.
So today, when you think of Smokey Robinson, it's not just the music legend.
No, it's like endurance, creativity.
Soul. That's the word that always comes back. He's still out there touring, sharing his message.
A true living legend.
Absolutely. So look, if you haven't listened closely to Smokey Robinson recently, or maybe ever, now's the time. Go explore that catalog.
Definitely dive in. There's so much there.
For sure.
And, thinking about it, Smokey had that incredible knack for taking everyday feelings, things we all go through, and making them sound beautiful, profound, timeless. That ability to connect the ordinary with something deeper. It's really special. It makes you think, who are the artists today that do that for you? Who bridges that gap in the music you love? Something to ponder.